Hello everybody. So I was watching an unboxing the other day and it was a really special unboxing. I'll link the video. It's one of the people I watch on YouTube and she was introducing diamond painting to her mother. I was so excited to see it and it really helped me understand what are some of the things that the lessons that I've already learned and that I take for granted, and that I want to introduce my mom to this, that maybe this video I can give to her or ask her to watch if she's interested in possibly learning. So what I'm doing is this. I'm laying out everything that it takes in order to get the diamond painting started. There's going to be a couple weird things in here, but we're going to go for it. So I'm in the middle of unboxing a piece right here, and right now it is, I have rolled it backwards and I taped it with blue tape. For anybody that is new, you are going to get a clear piece of plastic over your sticky piece of the painting. The painting you have, think about it as a color by number or as a cross stitch. It is a piece of material that has a picture on it that then has glue on top for you to stick the drills on. So we'll get into all that, but you want to keep all the plastic. You might exchange the plastic for parchment paper or something different, but right now we're going to keep it as it is, because the way that I prepare my paintings, I do not switch this out. I make a grid pattern, but whenever you receive your painting, almost all the time it's been rolled, and so you unroll it. My understanding from YouTube, and I am still new, is that there are some paintings that it doesn't work on, but there's some that it does. So right now, all the paintings that I have, which are on the less expensive side, it seems to work really great. One of the other things I found from a YouTuber is they used a pool noodle in order to wrap a big painting. There's a slit and the pool noodle can go in, you can place this inside that slit and then roll it. I don't have a pool noodle, and I also try not to purchase extra things if I can help it. You'll notice that I go back on that quite frequently, but I had an extra piece of plastic that has the opening for hiding wires, and so I'm using that as the inside in order to give it some structure. So I'm going to put this to the side, but right now you can see from the picture it matches. Look at that, it matches my pajamas. These pajamas, not sponsored, is from they're from Print Fresh, and it was because Hannah Louise posted, somebody I watch on YouTube made a recommendation, and I absolutely agree with her. So this is the painting. When you receive the painting and get it out of the box, you're going to want to turn it, you're going to want to roll it in the opposite direction in order to start making it flat, because you're going to counter the fact that it was rolled the opposite way. I will put this to the side, and my goal is to keep it in the shot so that it can be remembered. And then the rest of the material is what I will be using for what we call kitting up. So in order to be able to prepare your painting, you need to do certain things, or you might want to do certain things that help you get ready. This is a box that has already been kit up. Oh, there's a really bad glare. So I have a wood box here, that's much better, and I have all of my tools inside. As you can see, I do not have any special pens yet. I use only the pens that are in the that are provided in the kit, and I have every ending, or not every, but almost every piece that has a special tip on it on the pens, so that I can grab them to the right, because when I did try one drill, I didn't like that. I realized I like the benefit of many, and I'm not ready to make a purchase yet. But this is an example of a kit that has already been, of a painting that has already been kit up, right, ready for everything to be done. And I use plastic bags. Of course, as I get better, this will probably not be as disposable. And then all of the colors are inside, as well as some extra wax in order to keep it good with the name of the piece, and when I purchased it in a bag. This is going to go to the side, so I can have that right here. So what I do is this: I have pens in order to write on the bag. I have the plastic pieces that they've given, and I undo them. And this had a rip, so I'll get rid of that bag. So I'm going to take these bags apart. Now this bag seems like it's going to still be good. This bag is broken. So this is getting thrown out. And then what I will do is I will end up writing the name of the item here. I'm going to take a mini break because all the information is on Amazon, and unfortunately that's on the pad that I have right here. So I'm going to go quickly do that, and then I'll come back. So I decided it would be really cool if I showed you what I just did, but I'm not sure if it will film. So on my Amazon, I ended up pulling up my order. So it was purchased on February 21st. The brand is AVLD. It says what it is with the amounts, and this is what it should look like when I'm done. This is the way it was advertised, as 3 separate with each one at that size, and this is showing it without the drills. And then this is showing that they're going to be round drills. They're going to provide you, and they did, high quality diamonds. They're saying we'll see if there's trash or not. Trash is the term used if there's extra junk in the bag. Then you have the 3 paintings, the pictures. Another picture, that one is one that really reaches to me. I like the border, not the gray. I would rather keep it white with a gold trim because I do like gold or brass. And then there's just some extra advertising, and then it explains the steps. And the steps for diamond painting are: you ready the tools according to the list on the canvas, so you get everything ready. You put 1 color diamond into a tray, shake a few times so that the round part of the diamond is flat and the domed part is on top. So when you touch it with your pen that has the sticky wax on it, it can be picked up and placed down. I will go over how to place it. There are some very soft ways to do that, and I personally prefer the softer ways because I had carpal tunnel. This shows open. This shows that let the drill print it on the corresponding canvas, and then it explains press the canvas with a book. I use some other type of rollers in order to smush the pieces down once I have completed the painting. There are steps to completing the painting, which includes making sure that the drills are straight, making sure that the colors are where you want them. You might decide to take some creative license and change some of the colors. I've done that before. For example, I have my homage to my service dogs. These are not my service dogs. This just happens to be what mine look like. If she was younger, if Honey matched George's age, this is what they would have looked like together. And this painting had brown wood in the background, that was a door, and this was a white wall. And what I did instead was I changed the background with confetti because, well, because you can do whatever you want on your painting, and that's what I did on mine. But it is important to push the drills down so that they fully stick. There you go. So what we're going to do is I wrote the information down so that I can explain. So what you're going to do is I write on here we're going to let that dry. I'll put those pens to the side. I will be placing this piece of paper inside the bag, and I can put that to the side here. And now what we're going to do is we are going to open up the bag. Before even opening it up completely, I want you to know that what I stated in the bedroom about it being a possible fail, I take back, because I am extremely happy with the fact that they have already put the drills in bags with the matching numbers for us to use. So there's almost all the pieces of paper and I will place them in the bag. And I will keep only a few out. Now most of the time I need a label maker in order to make these numbers as you or do some type of label. I do not need to do that in this case, except I don't need to do that in this case. There is no except. So what I will do is I will take the wax, I will put it in one of the bags. And I do this so that if I am going somewhere and I want to bring the diamond painting, say I'm going out of town and I want to do a little diamond painting or something like that, I know that in my bag I have what I need minus the type of pen, so I know I need to grab it. So let me move the label maker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over a little bit more about the painting itself. I take the painting out. My goal right now is to have a couple paintings. I want to work on a couple paintings at the same time. My goal is to work on the sunflower and to work on this painting at the same time. I noticed that, and everybody's different, I noticed that when I work on one painting, I get a little antsy. If I work on two, I do a lot better. So I'll move that out of the way. And there's, without question, it is too large for the entire desk. There are 3 of these. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them into their own respective What all that matters is that I have a good enough border for me for having a frame on it, because I usually have these framed and I like to have them framed. I personally like to keep the border on so that if any of the pieces came off, I will know the yarn or the diamond number, which is right there, the number 1. I'm going to zoom in on this. That one's a pretty one. So let's finish cutting it. And I don't know if you can see this, but you can see I already have dog hair on it. And this is the 3rd piece. So I'm going to decide, actually I think this is the piece I will do first. Let's make a decision. 1, 2, between 1 and 2. I prefer 1. This is 3. And that one's kind of a cool one to do. I don't know. I'm going to start with this one first. That kind of surprised me. So what I will do is, looking at this painting, just you have a general idea of the painting, because you want to figure out what is your plan going to be. Everybody has a different plan. So some people start from the bottom and work up. Some people work from one way and work down. Some people, because a lot of everything that you're doing has to take into consideration not having the plastic be in your way. I'm a person that learned during my last time in painting that I like blocks. And one of the reasons I like blocks is because it gives me a sense of accomplishment, and it also allows me to not get thrown off jumping from one place to the other. So I'm going to put the other 2 away, and let me show you. So this is where the white's going to be. And if you see 18, okay, that's, there you go, or don't you? Maybe not. That didn't work out very well. So I'll have to figure that out. But the plus is 18. That's there. The 9 is in these darks. All these darks right here. That's where your 9 is going to be. You have 11s, which are going to be, 11 is a blue with an arrow, so you look for the blue with the arrow. And you have, right now what I can tell you is I can, without my glasses, I can easily see 6, 5, J, 1, C, B, K, 4, 1, 5, 9, 8, C, S, 3, 7, 1, plus 8, B, 8. There's an 8 and there is no B, so those thing I thought was a B is actually an 8. I don't think this was a fail at all. And then 12 is C, and that's going to be our black, and that's going to help with the depth. Oh, this is going to be nice. So we're going to put these in the bag, and I might end up getting a gallon size bag because it has a better zipper. I'll decide. And now let me show you how I would do something called kitting up. So the way I would kit, I will kit up. For me, I have an area that goes flat. That's a little annoying, but I wonder if I'm going to see if I can bring the shot down. Let me stop. So I'm going to reset the shot. I'm going to see if I can do that with this ladder. So if I too much. That actually, that might be enough. That still looks quite bright. Oops. Okay, so that seems very, very washed out, and I have some issues with that. Let me see. Okay. I think we're just going to have to deal with it. That seems a little crazy. Why would we just have to deal with it? Okay, so I don't know if that helped. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start squaring off the paint. And the way that I do that, everybody does it differently. What I do is I think to myself, how much can I handle doing at one time? How much do I want to handle doing at one time? And I end up deciding to cut it off at a certain place. And don't worry Let me turn this. Okay, so this is not. So we're going to try it from this angle. I brought it down. So what I'm going to do is, everybody is different, and the way you diamond paint for yourself, I feel like I've been talking in ways that make no difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a line. This isn't working on here. This doesn't seem to be working at all. Oh, maybe that is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, that crease really messed me up. So I want to fold that crease back. And one of the ways of doing that that's not working. So I might have to do this off camera, because I don't think I can show this on camera. So the way that you get rid of a big line is, think about it. You want to reset the tape to not be so smushed at that line. So what you're going to want to do is stretch it out. Does that make sense? So if this is tight, that needs to be stressed out. Okay, this is absolutely not working very well. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this off camera, and then, or on camera, but I'm just not going to talk, and we'll see if that makes a big difference for me.
Now that that is done, what I need to do is turn off the camera. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I set up my diamond painting. For me, everybody sets up their diamond paintings differently. I will tell you what I understand people to do. What I do is I have a light. I'll show you. It has 3 different brightnesses. And for me, we have a lot of glare. We'll have to cut down some of that glare. I'll have to figure out how to do that exactly. But right now, there, I have a light thing that's, let's see, and then that needs to block. So, I need to use a light. Does that help it at all? Sorry, my mic wasn't on. So, having this painting, it is a wide and long painting. I'm a righty, so I like to start from the left and move to the right because I like to keep plastic covered. I have a light here that will enable me to see the back. And that could be one of the problems. We'll deal with that, no big deal. What I'm going to do then is I personally like to protect my neck and my back. I am living my best life trying to, how's that? That might be better. I'm doing my best there. I personally do not like to drill flat. I find that I hunch over and it hurts my upper back, and just my body doesn't work very well with it. So for me, put that there. For me, I prefer to have an angle. Now these light machines, I think I'm going to keep this size. I'm probably going to get a larger because you come with a stand. I personally find that the stand can be great if you add sticky, if you add any of your wax to make it stick onto the ground. However, the angle is not great because if you see the angle with the camera, it doesn't work. However, if I take
Look at that. If I take the whiteboard, knowing that the top of my painting will have no color up there, yes, I will try to even it out. If I take some of the tack, I can use it as a stop for the board. Now the board is shaking, but you can't really tell that. So that will allow me to diamond paint a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is I am likely going to tape I personally will tape this piece so that when I'm dealing with the end, it is already taped. Otherwise, it falls down and it might make a little bit too much noise. We'll have to see. But the other thing is that so we'll figure that out, because I don't necessarily need all of the colors. What I do know is that I still have to cut that. So what I forgot to do is I take the razor, I only cut the plastic. Maybe that will. So if I'm taking the plastic off to show me that piece, I want the plastic as close to that blue line I can even, you know what I'm going to do? I'm new at this. I'm going to cut it on this side. I wonder if that would work. I think that might work better for me. So if I slice it according to blue tape. That was an absolute fail. Whatever you do, don't do that. And then this will allow me to fold the piece down so that I can work on only this. And that's what we're going to do. I have some clips. How it's going to work. We'll make a decision about this bottom part. We are going to give this a try. I do not know how well this will work, but what I do know is I'm going to at least give it a try. So, some of the things that I suggest is use painter's tape to pick up any hair fuzz, so that hair doesn't get stuck in there. That's just my own thing. Now I have a ton of trays from other paintings. These are all the other paintings I've done, but that doesn't really count. Sometimes you receive 2. For example, in this one I received 3. So what I know is in this color block, because I do have enough trays, I have a couple different choices. I can lay out some of the trays or I cannot. I'm going to lay some out. So I see that there's a plus. I see that there's a J, a 1, a 3, a 5, 6, 9, 8, C. Just to get started. All that I do is I'll show you. I have a basket here. This is for a different painting, so I'll put that to the side. So I have all of my stuff in a container that I use. I have one of the softies, and what I'm going to do is I like putting these on the table. With the tweezers. And I will do what's called preparing the pens I will use. So currently I have the tweezers stay out because I only have one set of tweezers. They're very sharp to grab the diamond. I have 3 pens that have no back. Those are going to go back in the box. I have some of the same size multi-placer tools, so I will put that in the box. This is a smaller placer tool, but for me, instead of using both of these placer tools, I will instead use the bigger one and only fill it up halfway if I want to have 2 diamonds on there. So I do not need that one. So the tools that I keep out 3, which means you and I are going to load up the pens together. I keep a large multi-placer tool. I keep a smaller one, but not a number 2. And then I keep this plastic This helps me line up diamonds, push the diamonds. This is a pusher. This is also a cutter. Lots of different things. I like this. So what I do is I have all of mine in one bag. It's either a gallon or this size. And I just take out a variety of colors, since I will be touching upon all of the colors. And inside the bag, actually, that's what I'm going to do. I can keep these others with me. Now, this is pink wax. I know that they have different names for these things, but I don't know the names yet. But the way that I load up a pen is you peel off the back and you use the flat end of a table. Your goal is to put wax into the edge of the pen tip. There's a little hole, and so what I do is I usually on the table, see, I don't know if you can see all of that. I moved a bunch of my lights, so I usually load it up. And if you notice, the way that that just worked was, did you see how it did not take out those holes? So some people put it on their hand and they'll twist. And if you have a hole, you know it's loaded. Now when it comes to, this is the top that goes on so that it stays clean. Now if you have a, I'll do it here so you can see, when it comes to the multi-placer tools, what you want to do is the same thing. You want to load it up, right? And then what I do is I usually take the bottom of the table and I'll push it into the table, and do you see how all of this extra goop, I don't know if you can see that, comes around it and makes it all dirty. What I do is I roll it, and that way it's more smooth. I do the same thing, and then I use the table to cut my edges. Does that make sense? And I do everything in my power to not touch this with my, to not make it lighter. And then I can take this extra and put it to the side, because I can use that to help fill up. And then I clean out the round, right? Okay, but I try never to touch the wax in there, because I want the wax to stay as sticky as possible for the duration, for whatever the duration is that I'll be working on. Okay, so I will probably change some of this, because one of the reasons I diamond paint is for my own relaxation, but in this situation, the lights are off and I care about my lights being on. So take some of the diamonds and fill up a tray. Make sure to always rezip because Murphy's Law says you will tip it over. And then if you notice, when you shake the tray, I'm putting my finger at the end because that's an end. There are some pieces that are upside down, and then there are some pieces that are right side up, upside down. And if you shake it and tilt it, you'll see that you get these things we call runs. So when you're diamond painting, you can diamond paint in a couple different ways. Let me pull my plastic glue. Put this to the side real quick. I'm going to hold my plastic down there so that I don't touch it. And what you can do is you pick up your diamonds. Now everybody does it different. I prefer to pick up diamonds as softly as possible, usually from the side, so that I can gently place them exactly where they're supposed to go. Now the most important thing with placing your diamonds is you want to cover whatever the legend is telling you is in that square, so that it's not straight. Now everybody's different, so this is one at a time. Right? And then if you wanted to use a different placer tool, you could push it and you can clean the pink off of that, right? But then there are placer tools, and this one, we'll see how many it is. If you take and have the same concept, I always try to start from the end. If you grab it very lightly, you will see that you have access. Now, if you do have the light on, my suggestion is not to have the tray on the light. My suggestion is the darker you have under the tray, the easier it is for you to see if the diamonds, the drills, are in the proper direction, which is flat side down or not. So then for me, I prefer coming in from the side. I see where the placement is, and I, as lightly as possible, place it down. I then can correct any of the circles and let it touch. It's sticky. These are very light. I don't need to press so hard. Everybody does it differently. Now, one of the things you might do is, if you weren't straight, it's kind of nice to keep it straight in the beginning. It'll help you out, right? So let's try that again. We take the multi-placer tool, we angled it to the side, we looked at it, looks like we're covering up the key, and I simply roll it off. Now this is a multi-placer, but say I only want 2 to finish that column, I can place it here. Now I don't know if you can see this, but this is slightly overlapped. So what I want to do is make sure it's not overlapped and it's flat. Okay? And you just would continue on. Right? Now most of the time I won't line up, I won't fix each line as I go. But I'm also learning what works for me, and I'm starting to notice that if I have a line off, it's kind of nice to clean it up immediately. Okay? So let's see a different multi-placer tool. So this is a larger multi-placer tool, and tipping, we're going to do that wonderful shake and slight tilt and let all those diamonds, let's do that again. We shake and we tilt, right? And I have a lot of runs here, so I'm going to take, now sometimes you'll count, but in this situation there are so many white areas you don't have to count. So instead, I have my multiplacer tool pick up as many as it could, and I work on placing it, and then you place it, then the bottom two, just like that. Let's do that again. See it, line it, breathe it. I have to get better at the breathing part. I tend to hold my breath. Let's do it again. Now that really lucky mother that I was listening to ended up receiving, here we go, receiving a different type of container that has deeper grooves. So some of the containers that you get for free, their grooves aren't as deep, and so when you shimmy and shake, the drills are not as likely to fall into the space as you'd like. But right now I'm very happy with that, and I do not feel like I need to fix any lines, but I'm going to. And the reason I'm going to is because I'm new, I'm trying new techniques, and I want to see if any of the things I'm doing see how this fell out. So knowing where your line is important. My first, my second, my third, fourth, fifth, and then sixth needs to go there. Does that make sense? So in this situation, and then what happens if you end up not grabbing the diamonds evenly? You can just click it off with your finger. Place it on. There you go. And that's what you're looking at. Now in this situation, I'll fix it again, but I'm not going to do that for everything. I'm just really trying to figure out what is it that will make start bringing my diamond paintings to the next level. What is it that's going to make my diamond paintings professional? I'm working right now on my signature, and I might go over that with you in a video because I ended up adding a signature. Now, one of the other tricks that I think is brilliant, and when I think about it, I sometimes do it, and I prefer when I actually do it, is I've never worked on a square painting, or I haven't yet worked on a square painting. One of the tricks, look at that, I do like this tray a lot. One of the tricks when you are square painting, from what I understand, even though of course I'm speaking only from watching YouTube videos, is that, not only because I've tried it on rounds, is that one of the things that square diamond painters seem to do is they will sometimes set up when they're putting their drills down, they will do it in what we call a checkerboard pattern. Let me show you, just to show. Right? And continue and just. So if you see, this is a checkerboard pattern, and the benefit of a checkerboard pattern is it helps you space out the diamonds properly, because if you're only doing one at a time, it's so easy to get off center. In fact, you kind of want to look all around the diamond and make sure you've covered up the spots. But so the checkerboard idea is why not allow the diamonds to help you So there was a diamond that was attached on the bottom, and I could just stick it and you can move it. So with the diamonds being put on a checkerboard pattern, that means that you know your exact spot that is left. So if I then add the diamond, you can hear it. Listen. Did you hear that? What that sound was, that the pen and the diamonds were finding the middle space for the insert, and that allows you to keep it straight, right? So you can use the benefits even if you are a round diamond painter. Use what we learn, or what the square diamond painters are taught, in order to help yourself with placement. Oh. And that situation one fell. So I can grab it from below. If I want to fill it in, I can fill it in just like that. Whoops. And then what happens if you mess up and pick up a whole bunch? Use your nail or the tweezer to cut them back off. Oh. Alright, so now that we know how, let's get some diamond painting done. Okay, so I'm going to end up showing those. I think that so I'm going to stop, and I'm filming again. Well, so far that was my first turn the camera off from the iPad, and well, at this moment I could not be happier. So